Welcome to a very special edition of the program. Today we have the Pan-African Business Expo edition of the program. And I have with me the Parkers. Now they're a very amazing couple. They're chartered accountants and they work together promoting businesses, African businesses, Caribbean businesses. And they'll teach you some business secrets on how to export your products and your services around the world. My guest today is Michael Parker, CBE, and his wife, Edith Parker. I'll let them introduce themselves in their own words. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell us about yourselves in your own words.
My name is Edith Parker, and I work closely with my husband, Michael Parker, who is also my business partner. Together, we run 3 companies: Parker's Imports and Exports, Parker's for Events, and Parker's Chartered Certified Accountants and Business Advisors. My role specifically focuses on the 2 businesses, which is the Parker's for Events and the Parker's Imports and Exports. With the Parker's for Events, we offer event services to corporate clients, embassies, as well as personal parties. So we're talking of weddings, birthdays, and anniversaries. And with the Parker's Imports and Exports, we focus a lot more on empowering small and medium-sized producers from Africa and the Caribbean to access the international market. Yeah, so those are the 2 companies that I focus on, and I'll leave my husband, who's also my business partner, to talk about the accountancy business.
Thank you. My concentration in the accountancy business is more in developing boards and leaders of businesses to actually realise their goals and beyond. We have a lot of decades of experience in the accountancy and business section between us. We have a lot of board level of experience, and we found out that when people ask for accountancy services, invariably they're looking to take on what I would call bookkeeping services, maybe some tax purposes, yet we have the capability to do much more. And it's through that services, and talking about the other services that my wife has already mentioned, we were looking to do an exciting transformation, taking on from where some of, dare I say, the Pan-Africanists of old, like Mandela, led us to thinking of us being an independent people. But if we're not doing it economically, we're not doing it at all. So what we want to use is our business and professional skills to help businesses and business leaders transform their businesses and the environment around them. So it's when we brought those skills together, the events, the imports and exports, and the accountancy and business skills, we realised that there needs to be an attempt where a conversation takes place, where people from Africa and the Caribbean start talking about how they want their economic future to be driven, how it should be dictated. And we shouldn't wait for a response. We sit on some of the world's greatest assets, and we forget that the greatest asset is the people of African descent.
Wow.
And we need to go back, search our culture, search our souls, and realise that our ancestors have left a real great opportunity for us if we can only come together and realise that.
Wow. You do wear a lot of hats.
I do indeed. One of the things I do, my main absorption of time, is the fact I'm the Associate Professor for Accounting and Financial Management at Henley Business School, which is based at Reading University. So that's my main day job. I also am the treasurer for the Tutu Foundation, and I'm the president for the Sickle Cell Society. I try and put back wherever I can. I'm a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts. I'm a fellow of King's College London, and I am a honorary life member of the Institute of Risk Management, as well as, dare I say, a humble accountant.
And a husband to a wonderful wife.
and a father to a lovely, beautiful daughter.
Vivian.
Wow, I met her yesterday. She is lovely.
Thank you.
And how do you find working together? And how do you find being married to him with all the roles that he plays?
Well, that's a tricky question. I think what really helped, I guess, was the fact that we are both passionate about developing other people. Now, what I mean by that is that we actually met when we were volunteering in a charity organization.
Wow.
So both of us had high demanding jobs, but here we were supporting a charity, and it was from there that,
life
the next
happened.
thing after that. Wow. Yeah. But because of that background, I think it helped us in such a way that we had a common shared value in a way. And even when we got married, Michael joined the Tutu Foundation. He has been on a number of charity boards, and I volunteer on charity boards myself as well. Okay. I'm a treasurer for Find Your Feet, which works in Malawi, Zimbabwe, and Nepal and India. And because of our background as well, what we find is that when we're at home, okay, we have a little one, so we kind of take our heads off from all the accountants and everything, and then try to spend time with our little baby, as well as spend time together as a family. But because we have a lot of shared interests, it is so easy for us to get along and to find a lot of areas where we can really work together without really having to think about it like, oh, why are we doing this? So is this the right thing to do? Because it just falls on naturally. And to answer your second question, how do I find my...
Maybe I should ask you.
I think that's an interesting one. He's an amazing guy.
Wow.
He's one of those guys that, despite all those qualifications and everything, when I know that things are not working, I can run up to him and say, honey, what's going to happen? So apart from being my business partner, I do find that he does work as my mentor as well.
Okay.
And as a father and as Vivian's dad, I think I couldn't have asked for a better husband or my daughter's dad. Yeah.
Wow. And you've come from different cultures. You're from Malawi and he's from the Caribbean. And is that same fusion that you tried to bring into the business world?
Yeah, interestingly, I was thinking about it the other day, that this seems to be very interesting background, because I come from Malawi. I was born in Malawi. I only came here about 14 years ago to do my accountancy qualification. And Michael's from the Caribbean. Yeah. But the thing is, his values, I think that was the other thing that attracted me. Because when I met him, he seemed to know a lot more about Africa than I did.
I found that,
Yeah, and I thought, oh my God, I'm supposed to know all these things. So in a way, yes, I think bringing both cultures together kind of helped us, because there was a lot of some commonalities from there as well. Because when I visited Jamaica, it did feel like I was in Malawi. Okay, the language was different. Yeah. Some of the dishes were different, but then a part of me was thinking, wow, this feels like Malawi. And that just made me think that, okay, well, I'm not lost. So I guess it does work very well for us. Yeah.
So is it the shared experiences that you had, or your shared values, that determines your marriage and how you plan your businesses? Or is it your passion or your values?
Yeah, I would say it's our passion and the values. Because we're both committed to see our continent move forward. Okay. And we believe that, okay, as accountants, we have a lot of skills. I mean, Michael works on a board, I'm involved on a board level as well. And this is the reason why every now and then we try to give back to the community, volunteering our time. And it's just that passion to make a difference in our community that really led us to setting up these businesses, creating this event. Yeah, so in a way I would say, yes, it's our passion and the values that kind of works as a binding point. Yeah.
So tell me about the work you do with empowering small business owners into exporting from the African community and even from the Caribbean community to do exporting on an international level. Tell me about that.
Right. So, right. One of the first projects I did was organising Guyanese farmers into co-ops to work with Guyanese millers to work into co-ops to export shiploads of rice, 3,000 tons of rice at a time, to export into Europe.
Yeah.
So we did a couple of shipments that way. And it was there that I realised there was a great potential to do things, and I tried to organise farmers in Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, but the logistics were far more difficult than it was in the Caribbean. But the objective to do more was still there.
Okay.
Edith was modest. She didn't mention the fact that she brought the big issue to Malawi.
Oh,
And
really?
we worked together on that. So we've done a lot. We started off because we met through, as she said, through a charity and did charitable work before, but that's not enough for the economies of Africa and the Caribbean to be sustainable. And then we realised they must do business, but even if they do not do business, they need to understand the business skills to do government, the third sector, or business itself. So it was bringing all these experiences and skills together, which is why we thought we need to go beyond just providing goods and services. And also, when we've done a lot of these boards, these are very large boards. Find a Feet works in, I don't know how many countries?
4 countries.
4 countries. So it's a big international. We've been on there, and invariably we get enticed to do work on small countries or small businesses. When we know that when you go to any parts of Africa or the Caribbean, you normally see lots of big businesses who are national but can't break the international barrier.
Yeah.
And we're out here capable of providing them with the goods and services they require, but they don't know us, we don't know them, or if we do know them, we can't broker that relationship. So what we wanted to do was go out, see if we can establish those relationships, and it's not just for ourselves. The reason why we have an Expo is we will introduce people, create strategic alliances, create partnerships, but just like a marriage brokerage, get people together to actually go beyond their own skills or beyond the skills that we can offer, so that hopefully somebody from, dare I say, even Malawi will meet somebody from Jamaica and find out how to do trade with each other. Right. Now, it may require some of us to provide even more support. They may get on with it themselves. It doesn't matter, because this is only the beginning, because after that we'll run a service in a club that maintains the relationship.
Oh, okay.
So anybody who participates in the day can pursue and participate on a more long-term basis and be part of those alliances and connections. So if you want to do international business, we will be attracting people from government authorities here, international agencies, so that we can entice people to get together. We've got the governments to broker for businesses on the other side, or wherever they want to entice inward investment, and try and encourage people to get involved. Lots of people have, for example, their pension funds that they would like to invest in business that occupies them their time. And it's easy for those businesses to go out into Africa and the Caribbean, where they can look at a place to retire and do business, keep themselves active. And we're trying to facilitate a whole new way of thinking about exports or even imports, or any form of strategic alliance or doing business than you would normally get elsewhere. Because I think we're quite unique with what we're offering and how we're supporting it. And because it's not restricted to only trade through us, but we are facilitating trade, that should make it enticing for a lot of other people to get on board.
I think what's interesting for me is not just that it's about the Expo, but the fact that you've said that you're developing a long-term relationship with the businesses that come together. So they form a strategic alliance or network with another business, and then you monitor the process?
We facilitate the process.
Okay, yes.
So that's why I say it's more like marriage gardens. it's not a shotgun wedding.
Okay.
We entice people to get together. We support them when they get together. We then explain to them, whilst you're going along this journey of an engagement, you will need people to help you arrange for the wedding, arrange for the business, and therefore will help provide or signpost them to do appropriate business.
Yeah.
We have the skills to filter and make sure that the people that they're going to meet up with are the right sorts of people. But it also entices, say, some of the bankers, financiers, if they have problems. We have access to finances from all around the world, not just the UK. So when you want to do business, people need to remember it's a global village. And we forget that we naturally have links, whether we're born here or from somewhere else. We have friends and family all over the world, but we never think about these could be our business partners for expanding our businesses or even introducing people to businesses. So what we want to do is make sure that we can go around and support people find their niche, but also get them to understand that they already have international contacts. By the mere fact that they are not from here, that they come from somewhere else, they have connections, they have family, relatives, and that enables them to do a lot of business, mostly just at the drop of a hat, pick up the phone, speak to auntie, uncle, cousin, and they've got some business contacts already. The world is a very, very small place, depending how you look at it.
And with globalization and advance of technology, it's easy to speak to someone who's just thousands of miles away in seconds.
Exactly. And I think the other thing that we take for granted as well, especially as African and Caribbean in the diaspora, is that when we look at our communities, we're looking at a massive market of over 1 billion. Now, we most of us are operating our businesses in the UK, but rarely do we really think of what would it look like if I was to export my services abroad to Swaziland, to Jamaica. Can I generate more sales? What competitive advantages can I really gain out of this? So there's all this big, massive opportunity that is really up there, but I guess just sitting down to say, okay, fine, this is the right platform, this is where I can meet strategic partners if I want to go in this country. And we're hoping that the Pan-African Business Expo could fill up that gap.
Okay.
And hopefully that could really help. And 5 years from now, it will be a case of, I met my partner at the last Pan-African Business Expo, and now we are set up in this country, and this is how things are. So that's all.
When we come back, we'll be talking about the Pan-African Business Expo and all the lineup of speakers that will be at the Expo. We'll be right back.
You are invited to Pan-African Business Expo, a historic event for the African Caribbean business communities in the United Kingdom and abroad, promoting international trade with Africa and the Caribbean. The event will be held at King's College, London, Strand, on Thursday, 17th April 2014, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. This year's theme is Empowering Businesses to Engage Effectively in International Trade. The Pan-African Business Expo is a platform to meet and network with government officials, diplomats, investors, professionals, entrepreneurs, and various business representatives. The Expo features workshops on various aspects and issues relating to international trade with Africa and Caribbean. Keynote address by ambassadors and high commissioners from various African and Caribbean countries. Invited speakers are Prem Goyal, OBE, CEO Global Markets Consultants Limited, Leslie Batchelor, Director General of the Institute of Export, IOE, Brian Trehen, MBE, UK Trade and Investment International Advisor, Emmanuel Wilfred Jones, entrepreneur and founder of the Black Farmer Food brand, Michael Packer, CBE, strategist and entrepreneur, John Hilaire, Executive Director of War on Want, Musvari, Her Royal Highness Betty Makoni, multi-global award winner, gender expert, founder, Girl Child Network Worldwide, Sonia Brown, MBE, business communicator, branding strategist, Mavis Amankwa, entrepreneur, PR guru, author, and motivational speaker, and other distinguished speakers. This is a great opportunity to come and explore business opportunities in various African and Caribbean countries. Showcase your products and services to potential clients in the United Kingdom, Africa, and the Caribbean. Network with like-minded potential business partners in UK and abroad. You will meet potential investors and learn how to access funding to start and develop your business. Exhibition stands are tailored to suit your business needs. For sponsorship, exhibition, delegate packages or bookings, visit www.panafricanbusinessexpo.com. International delegates and exhibitors should call +44 79 3135 3737 or +44 207 873 2165 or email sales@packersforevents.com. Delegate entry fee at £60 and that includes lunch, access to all workshops and drink reception. Exhibition packages from £150. Organized by Packers Imports and Exports, Packers for Events. Sponsored and supported by Pan-African Business Expo. Be there.
You're welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about the Pan-African Business Expo. It's a business event where you should be if you want your business to go to the next level. If you have African and Caribbean origin and you want to learn how to export your business, your product, your service into the international market, I've got with me Michael Parker, CBE, and Edith Parker, the co-founders of the Pan-African Business Expo. And they're going to tell us about this wonderful event. Tell us about the Pan-African Business Expo.
It's going to be on the day before Good Friday, which is Thursday, the 17th of April. It will be from 10 till 6 p.m. It is primarily a business-to-business event.
Okay.
So what we're looking for is business people to meet business people. The primary point will be various speakers will be talking about various aspects of business leadership that hopefully will help and inspire people to go forward. We will have people from the various boards that will help support exports taking place. The UKTI, Chamber of Commerce will be speaking from there. We'll have people like Betty McConey, Corin Patel, various people who have done inspirational business leadership events which will come through. We have a variety of other speakers where we will also have representations from, we hope, a lot of other countries. We've got a few countries that will be making presentations and taking stands. A lot of them are the government ones, will be looking to help support and encourage inward investment into their countries, as well as trying to support people to export to us and to tell people what sorts of trade they would like us to facilitate.
Oh, okay.
So there is opportunities where you'll have direct links with people who want to encourage trade going both ways. And it could be other avenues of exporting markets. For example, we do know that a lot of the Caribbean countries deal with rum, and rum isn't really as widely exported throughout Africa as lots of other spirits. They would want to get there.
Okay.
We know that there's lots of wine in southern Africa, and they want to get that wine throughout Africa into Europe as well as around the world. So although people have long established businesses with international links, what they haven't done is cement those links in industries where we have lots of complements. For example, Malawi does a lot of kidney beans, gunga peas, and black-eyed peas. Now, it just so happens to be the staple diet for a lot of rice and peas in the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's right.
And in West Africa, worry in Ghana. So you would want Malawians who do not naturally export to those countries to realise that that is another opportunity, and then meeting up with them. So you start to get links between, say, SADC, ECOWAS, the CARICOM, facilitating links and trade, which, although the African Unity talks about, we don't actually see too much activities on. So we will hopefully engage in a different level of conversation and facilitate and stimulate discussions on issues that are relevant to people of African descent. And that's very important, because it's not just an expo and a place where you can facilitate a network. We'll have big issues that we want people to discuss, which will talk about what are the blocks, what are the constraints for us to do trade, and get the experts and the people who are dealing with it to answer questions, and hopefully get them to change their policies to help us trade more easily.
I mean, the other thing that I think Michael didn't maybe highlight was the fact that we are expecting high commissioners and ambassadors from different African and Caribbean countries.
So these are policymakers?
Yeah, policymakers who directly can explain what's happening in their countries, what incentives are they putting in place, where do you go to get the right information. So we believe that the event is going to create that platform that as a business, UK business, thinking of, okay, I want to export to this country, how do I start, where do I go? That when you, at the end of the day, on the 17th, you will leave the conference thinking, okay, I've got all the information I need now. I can go back and start working on my business plan, because I know if I'm going to Botswana, this is what I need to do. This is where I need to start from. So we're really hoping that it's something that could really benefit a lot of businesses, especially those that are thinking of engaging effectively in international trade.
I think it'll be good, because now you have policymakers, you have businesses, and you have people who have services they want to offer, and then the end users. So it's a business-to-business event. It's such a good idea, I must say. Such a good idea. So how do we find out about the Expo? Do you have a website?
Okay, yes, you can visit the website, which is www.panafricanbusinessexpo.com.
All one word?
Yeah, all one word. But we are also on Facebook, that's Pan-African Business Expo, and on Twitter at Pan-African Business Expo. And you can also email us at sales@parkersforevents.com.
And that's 4 in the middle?
Yeah, number 4. As well as you can send an email direct to myself. That's Edith P at parkers4events.com. But you can also ring us on 079 31 35 37 37 and on 0207 873 2165. We have a reception desk that is working 24 hours.
Wow.
7 days from now until the event. So if there's anything that you want to check, you're calling from wherever it is and you're thinking, what time is it in the UK? Just pick up the phone, because there will be someone to respond to your call, and we'll definitely get back to you with the information that you're looking for.
And we're doing a special promotion package.
Yes, I just mentioned that.
For those who mention this program.
Okay.
And they will get get half price, because the stands are normally £500. We're going to offer it for £250 for those who come through this opportunity.
Wow.
And as we said, we're going to get a year's membership. And what people tend to forget, we put out adverts throughout 72 countries for all the media channels. And therefore you get an exposure far, far wider than just in the UK. We're going literally around the world.
And they have a business directory also.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but that's restricted to those who are part of the club.
Okay.
And what we will do is, after the event, depending on what interest, we will, again, broker the relationship according to skills and services that they want. We're negotiating with people who do finance, the cash tills, card machines. We'll look at all the different services, packaging, exports, shipping. So whatever the commercial services that people need to do that international business that we're talking about, if they haven't got it, we will go out, source it for them to help facilitate that trade. Because our job is to make sure there are no obstacles and there are no limits. We are wonderful people with a wonderful opportunity, and we're going to make sure it happens.
Thank you. And just to add on there as well, in regards to delegates, we have 2 tiers of tickets.
Okay.
Which is number 1 is budget delegate entry. This is free. This is where you just come in and you would, I guess, meet some exhibitors, but you will have limited access to the workshops on the day. And the other one is the premium delegate entry. This is going at £60. And for this one, this is where you're going to have lunch and you have access to all the workshops on the day. As well as at the end, we are having a drinks reception where we can really network and try to seal some of those deals. So if you're interested, you could either opt for option A or option B. But I believe the premium, especially if you're serious business, really thinking of networking on the day, the premium ticket might be the best one.
And you have such an impressive lineup of guests and speakers. I mean, you have maybe Mankwa, you have Sonia Brown, MBE.
Yeah, John Hillary, and we have Prem Goya. So if you look at the lineup, these are people that are passionate about work in the community.
Yeah.
If you follow Sonia Mavis, you will see that most of their work is something to do with the African Caribbean community.
They are amazing women.
You look at Sam, we have got Sam, who is the founder of Women for Africa.
Yeah.
He's done amazing work as well. So it's a really interesting lineup, and there will be really serious discussions on the day that hopefully by the end of the day you will go back home and say, wow, we can move this community forward, and this is what we need to do in order for us to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a great hall
at the King's College, London, that on the Strand. So it is a very large university campus on the Strand near Aldwych. Once you get to Aldwych and you walk around it, you cannot miss it, because it will say in bold and lights on the southern side of the Aldwych that this is King's College London. Once you get to the main office, they'll point you through to the Great Hall, and we'll have guides to make sure you find yourself in. Just like to point out that the budget ticket does not allow you to have food to go and purchase, which is why it's free.
Yeah.
But what we do want to try and encourage the business people to attend, because although it will be of great interest to academics and other people who are interested in the concept, what we really want to do is focus on making sure we have the right numbers and the right people to do business. And I think a lot of those that want to do business will be on stands available already. We're also talking to some banks, brokers, to be there to offer their services and explain to them what services they require to do business and what services they have on offer. There's a lot more that helps people to do the business they are doing to get out there and expand.
You are invited to Pan-African Business Expo, a historic event for the African Caribbean business communities in the United Kingdom and abroad, promoting international trade with Africa and the Caribbean. The event will be held at King's College, London, Strand, on Thursday, 17th April 2014 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. This year's theme is Empowering Businesses to Engage Effectively in International Trade. The Pan-African Business Expo is the platform to meet and network with government officials, diplomats, investors, professionals, entrepreneurs, and various business representatives. The Expo features workshops on various aspects and issues relating to international trade with Africa and Caribbean. Keynote address by ambassadors and high commissioners from various African and Caribbean countries. Invited speakers are Prem Goyal, OBE, CEO Global Markets Consultants Limited, Leslie Batchelor, Director General of the Institute of Export, IOE, Brian Trehen, MBE, UK Trade and Investment International Advisor, Emmanuel Wilfred Jones, entrepreneur and founder of the Black Farmer Food brand, Michael Parker, CBE, strategist and entrepreneur, John Hilaire, Executive Director of War on Want, Musvari,